EM radiation travels from the sun at the speed of light in a vacuum. They do not need a medium to travel. When they reach Earth, they change speed as they travel from one medium, solid, liquid, and gas, to another. All EM radiation travel in the form of wavelengths. The longer the wavelength, the lower the energy. The smaller the wavelengths, the higher the energy. Our eyes only allow us to see wavelengths in the visible light spectrum, in the EM spectrum, which is in the middle of the EM spectrum. All wavelengths reflect white light. White light and water create a rainbow. Light we see is reflected. The light we don't see is absorbed. The absence of wavelengths reflect as black light. Light travels in a straight line, and sometimes it reflects reflection. When a wave hits an object through which it cannot pass, it bounces back. This is called reflection. All waves can be reflected. Remember, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you see yourself. That's reflection. When light waves are reflected off an object, that means you can see that object. For example, light waves reflecting off the moon allows you to see the moon. When sound waves reflect off an object, they call this an echo. When a wave reflects an angle of incidence, it is equal to the angle of reflection. Waves that are not reflected are either absorbed, you do not see the color, or transmitted. It passes through the substance like light through a glass window or a pair of glasses. We're going to do a little demonstration here on reflection. And when it comes to types of light waves, waves can do several things. They can reflect, they can absorb, they can transmit, or they can refract. Right now we're going to talk about reflection, absorption, and transmission. If you look at the table set up here, I have a laser, and I'm going to turn off the lights just for a minute so that you can see it better. I have a red laser that is pointing a light that goes in a straight direction, and you can see the red laser on the other end, and that means that this laser is going in a straight line, and the angle of incidence is the same as the angle of reflection. So the angle going in and the angle coming out is the same. We know it's the same because you see the red dot, right? On the left side here, you'll see 3 different laser colors. We have a blue one, a green one, and a red one. Notice how they are going straight. You notice how the laser is actually pointing straight. And if you look at the table, it is running straight. If I move it back a little bit, you can see the 3 lasers on the table, the 3 pictures, the 3 colors on the table, and they're moving in a straight line. Okay? It bounces off the object it hits, and we can see the color. That we call reflection. A blue color reflection means that that's the only wave we can see. Any other color than blue is absorbed. The red, the orange, the yellow, and so on. The green laser is the same. The green laser we see, so it's reflected. Any other color that we don't see, the red, the yellow, the orange, that green is the only thing reflected. The other colors are absorbed. The same with the red. Since we see the red here, this red is reflected because that's what we see. Any other color is absorbed. Orange, green, blue, indigo, and so on. Remember, light travels in a straight line at the speed of light from space. By the time it gets here, 8 minutes have passed. And basically what's happening is whatever we're doing at this time has already happened. Kind of eerie, isn't it? All right, so you have these lines, these lasers moving in a straight line. All light bounces off an object once it hits an object, and it's either going to be reflected, absorbed, transmitted, or refracted. This one is reflected, you see the red. This one is reflected and all the other colors are absorbed. You see the blue. This one's reflected and all the other colors are absorbed. You see the green. This one's reflected and all the other colors are absorbed. You see the red. Now I'm going to turn on the lights and talk about a special reflection. This is a mirror, and we know any shiny objects will reflect the light.
This is SpongeBob's friends. They were all in a stand hanging out. And notice if you look in the mirror, you can see SpongeBob's friends. This is called reflection as well. The light that's hitting the mirror bounces back and you see that image. So all of these are examples of reflection. And anything that does not bounce back and you don't see that image is absorption, unless it is a clear plastic bag and you place the laser on the clear plastic bag and it goes through it. We call that transmitting. Notice how it's going through and being lit up at the other end. So we call that transmitting. So the vocabulary words that you should remember right now is reflection, transmission, absorption, if we don't see that color, whatever you don't see is being absorbed, and we'll talk about refraction at another time. Hope you enjoyed the video.